Hello everybody and welcome to my 1 week review with the Google Pixel 10 Pro Fold. You can see I have a lot going on around the actual device. So we'll start from the left just before we get into it. I bought the 45-watt charging brick. I also bought this amazing Google Pixel case with a Pixel Snap, aka MagSafe. Quick story on that. I bought this one with it. I thought it was a little simple. I've always been Obsidian in the past. And so I went to Verizon a couple days after receiving it, and they happened to have the Moonstone color, which is the color of my device, which is right here, like the most truest version of it without taking the case off. So I got that version of it. I brought it home, put it on, and I used it for a couple hours, and I just kind of felt like I was a little overwhelmed. So I took off the Moonstone back and I put the black one on, but I still had the Moonstone cover here because underneath here is a little, I don't know, like sticky tape or foamy tape that holds it in place. It clicks in, but it holds it in place. And after using it for a couple hours, I had to switch back. I like the purple accent or the Moonstone accent. I didn't have this at the time. And then you have some by the power and volume button, and you got access here with all the USB-C and microphones, and I guess nothing on this side. There's a little groove here to help you open it up, and that mirrors over on, well, I guess it doesn't mirror on this side, it's just those buttons. And then there's microphone and speaker holes on top. But after like 3 days, I went back to Verizon and returned it because this case is not cheap. I got this one cheap because I bought 3 accessories. And also, can't forget about this. This is the Pixel Snap charging whatever disc. I thought I was going to use it, but I don't set my phone on a desk at night. It sits on my bed next to me, so I still use the USB-C port. And unfortunately, they don't have a long cable off this, so I don't want it to be down by my feet. The cable brings it close to my head, which is good. So this may possibly go back. We'll have to wait and see. I want to try and use it, which means I got to change my charging capabilities around. But then, of course, the device itself, 256 Moonstone from T-Mobile. I traded in my Google Pixel 8. Got $1,000 trading credit, so my monthlies went from $74 to $33, which is much more reasonable. And it went from $1,800 to $800. So my monthly is definitely more like a normal slab phone or candy bar phone, whatever you want to call it. And then I ordered it just a couple days ago because I know, you can open up YouTube and you can have your phone like this and it shows the video up here and it shows the controls down here and everything. Very nice. But, the best way of viewing is with it open and you actually have the entire video playing across the middle of the screen. And it's no difference if you do it this way or this way. So, I almost say this is like a perfect square. It may not be exactly perfect, but it's darn close of an 8-inch screen from either angle. So I ended up buying this off of Pixel's website, Google Pixel's website. And it took a couple days to get here. And unfortunately, the box got crushed in the packaging, but the actual Pixel Snap, which I put off screen, I've heard some mixed reviews. This is very similar. This little joint right here is very similar to what the Pixel tablet ring does. It has like the ability, and it's still very solid. You can see there's like no movement in it at all. People that have had it for a week say that it's already starting to get like very flimsy. So we'll have to wait and see if that happens to this one. If it does, then I'll probably end up returning it as a defect. Or if they do a recall and they release new ones that are fixed, like a second generation, I feel like it shouldn't happen, but I want to experience my YouTube videos like on a stand like this. One thing that I'm getting used to, I have my Pixel Watch 3 with the guard on it, is the power button is the unlock for your fingerprint, but also there's a really good face unlock. So even opening the phone like this, it'll unlock either from my watch or it'll unlock from my face. So I'm happy about that. Going around the device, On the inner right side, you've got microphone, USB-C, speaker, and then this is some weird cut-in spot. I'm not sure why. And then you come around the side, like I said, there's like a groove to help like a laptop to open it. And then on top you have a mic, speaker, another mic, and then you've got the power and the fingerprint power button. Sorry, it's not focusing. There we go. Oh, and the volume rocker. But yeah, everything seems to be working really well and nice. Battery life has definitely improved over the week. It's starting to learn my adaptive charging and everything. I used to get out of work the first couple days with 23% ish of battery life, 25. And now I'm getting out of work with like close to 60%, and I use it just the same. I look up items and help people with Costco.com just to see what's up on Costco.com and things like that. So far so good, and battery life is definitely better. A lot of people told me you're gonna get it and you're gonna use the outside screen much more to like text and everything, and I'm like, yeah, maybe. And I love opening it up. I think it's that this is the candy bar style and it's just so classic. I mean, yeah, you can do a quick response, but for me specifically, one of the biggest reasons why I love the Pixel is because Gboard on the Pixel has so much more accurate voice to text with like punctuation and capitalization, and grammar in general is just amazing. So for me, using the voice to text is the way I go. And by doing that, I don't know if people know. Let me see. Let me unlock it. I'm just gonna go to Google Maps, which is here. And then you go and you search, and it comes up with the keyboard, but you can do this and this. And I can turn it off. So this allows you to open your keyboard and get information. You can go to different keyboards, an emoji keyboard. It will tell you different words when you're actually typing. This is where it does, like if you start typing the I, it may be like it's, in, or whatever. Emojis. And then you have your delete and microphone button. But you can actually like grab it and move it, so it's out of the way. And obviously if you open up like the keyboard, it's going to go full screen, and then you have the split key and you have the full key. I'm actually very used to this now because I have the Pixel tablet and I started using it just a lot. But anyways, here's the keyboard. It's a little thinner, but it's still like doable. Like if you had the Pixel 10 Pro or the 10, it's about the same. This is a 6.4 inch screen with an 8 inch on the inside. This is 60 to 120. The inner screen is 1 to 120. So you have a varying refresh rate more on the inside screen than you do on the out, but it's all good. And then let's get into the big deal. The cameras. Everybody's like, oh, 10 megapixel. I don't know why I keep opening it and closing it. I'm taking away from the future of this. No, I'm kidding. 10 megapixel. 48 megapixel, 10 megapixel, 10 megapixel. So I know it's not the best, but it is a thin device, and it's their third generation. But the cool thing is you can take selfies using this screen. You'll see yourself, and then you can take it with the 48 megapixel, so you get high quality selfies. You can also do Made You Look, where it shows little animations for kids so they get focused on what you're taking a picture with. It is interesting that they do that and they still use a 10 megapixel because that's where the screen is directing you. It would be nice if they allowed you to switch that to the 48, even though it's slightly off to the side. I would rather do that. But, it is what it is, and it's still a cool feature. Also, part of the camera that I like is when you open up the camera, I'll just do it really quick. You have your camera, which is this, and when you take a picture, it puts it over here, and if you take another one, it scrolls down. So you can actually review the photos you've taken right away, especially if you're in like the lock screen mode where you can only see what you've taken. You can just scroll through it, without unlocking it, which is really neat. That's like in that moment until you turn it off again. But yeah, really neat having a huge camera screen also if you do want to take a selfie from the inside, which they're not horrible. Google AI really helps. Gemini is amazing. I activated my 1 year of Gemini again. I actually had to go about 3 weeks in between when this one expired with my Pixel 9 Pro XL. There was like a 2 week window or 3 week window between the two. So I kind of thought about getting it, but kind of didn't. But that deal trading in the Pixel 8 just put me over the top. So we've done battery, we've done screens, we've done cameras. So usability is great. I know that everybody talks about the crease. When you're seeing it as a reviewer or you're looking at it, not as a reviewer, but someone that's watching all these reviews, that's the only thing that sticks out. Once you start using the phone after a couple days, for me, it was like a day. I've tried the Fold 3 from Samsung and I felt like it was too in beginner stages, so I didn't want to take it. But now with the IP68 water resistant, dist resistance, and the bigger battery life over last year's, this is the first time I love that they went thicker to get a bigger battery compared to thinning it out like they did with the Samsung Z Fold 7. They made it thinner and the battery doesn't last quite as long. I mean, I know it's comparable because gaming and all that. I don't play games on here. I mean, if I do, it's only for minutes. It's not like I sit down for hours because I have other devices for that. But it can handle Diablo. It can handle Destiny. You know, the G7 chip inside is better than last year, but it's not as good as what Snapdragon has been doing. That's okay for me. I would rather have a much more durable, longer battery. I mean, there's obviously newer battery technologies that could take over, but that's a whole nother story for another video. But anywho, my overall rating of this device is very high. If you are getting bored and you feel like all the candy bar slab phones are just, boring and you don't want to keep doing it, find a way to get your trade-in on your old device so that this phone was like $1,500. It's a 512 model of no, not this one. I'm sorry. The iPhone 15 Pro Max that's in my hand that we're recording with, it was $1,500. It's a 512 model that I only use like maybe 160, 200 gigs of storage out of it. So there's a lot of open storage, but it was the only thing available at the time. That's like a $1,500 phone. So you're only $300 shy of getting something like this. And if you have a valid trade-in to get that $1,000 trade-in credit, then this phone becomes an $800 device, which is much more doable for the day-to-day user, and the durability is great. I know there's going to be Samsung haters and lovers that are going to say, I'd rather get a Samsung, go with the Z Fold 7. It's thinner, it's lighter, but the corners are sharper. So I hear that people don't like it on the palm of their hand because it cuts in. There's no longer an S Pen to be like, oh, get that one over that one. They removed the S Pen when they made it thinner this year. So it's up to you on which brand you like, which quality of Android you like. But until Apple decides to put out their Fold and see what it's like, I'm still feeling like Apple has gone stale. Now, I feel like there's a whole thing with the Apple iPhone Air that could become, an equivalent of what their Fold will be. Take two of those and put it together equivalently, and then there you go. But you never know. That's just my mental speculation. But I am absolutely loving the Google, the Pixel software on Android is great. All the AI functionality works really well on this. It syncs up very well with my Meta Ray-Ban display glasses. I am running this as a stock Android 16. I'm not jumping into the beta quarterly like I did here. I want to actually get used to seeing the pixel drops when they come out from from the actual Google Android team rather than the dev team when they put out the betas. So just trying to keep it all clean. That may change, obviously, in the future. I'm going to have this phone for a couple of years. 7 years of software updates, and that's security and operating system updates. And it's got 10 years worth of folding, and that, I don't know, there's probably an average month or an average yearly folds to bring that number to be real. But I doubt that I'm going to hold on to this phone for 10 years, but it's nice to know that it has the capability And I've asked friends that have folds and how do you take care of it? And they're like, well, the outside I have a screen protector and a case. On the inside, just be careful. I remember back when when the first folds came out, they didn't fold completely closed like that. They folded like this, and there was that whole air area where dust and dirt could get in, and then the screen was curved so it could get under the screen. It was just really bad. So this is a tight, solid design, and they also redid the hinge on the Google Pixel line. So it is completely sealed without any gears. So that's going to be a nice thing. I feel like touching and feeling my friend's 9 Pro Fold, this one has a much smoother, and you can stop it at any point. There's a couple points at the end where you can't stop it, it'll just pop open. And when you get really, really close, it wants to close itself. But look, I mean, without altering it. Yeah, that's really open. That's like open. So the hinge is nice. It's solid. But we're going to see how it goes over the next year or two, and we'll move forward with that. But thanks for watching. I guess my overall review is if you can get a nice trade-in on an old phone, pick up the Pixel Fold. You know, it's a nice refresh of a phone that you can use for a couple of years before the next thing. Because honestly, I don't feel like a trifold is for me. That's just too big, too much, and too risky because they get real thin that way. But the Pixel Fold 10 Pro, I know that's not how it's written, but it's a great device, and I look forward to all the feature drops that come out, or the pixel drops that come out, and the MagSafe. And I want to see the battery life get better over the next week as it gets even better with my optimizations and everything. So leave your comments, questions, and I will do my best to answer them. And look forward to probably not a 2-week review, maybe a 1-month review. We'll get one in November. Moving on with this, as it launched on the 9th of October. So look forward to about November 10th, 9th or 10th. I'll put out a 1-month review with it. But thanks again for watching. I hope you guys have a great evening, and bye!